Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Thank you so much for being here. I did not mean to do that. Okay, how do I make this bigger? Get rid of that maybe. Oh, that helps. Perfect. Perfect. Well, Angela M., thank you so much for being here first. And I'm going to take my face out of here. So long, face. Okay. Um, so I did it again. It's nobody's fault but my own. I forgot to monetize the video yesterday. So that means yesterday's video was well, aside from you know, any cash apps or anything or PayPal's or what's the other one? Um, anyway, it was a free video. I was able to do a public service announcement. So if you're considering any extra blessings, I'm just going to come out and say it. I know it's my fault. I forget to do it sometimes, but each and every time you come on, you have to, at least I don't know a workaround, but you have to hit monetize. Otherwise, you don't get paid for the video. And most of whatever you earn from the video, it happens within the first 24 hours. So no pressure, that being said, but oh, I hate when I do that. And I remember I think it was around Christmas, was it? Or was it the first of the year? I forgot to do it 2 days straight. 2 days straight I forgot to do that. I think in all I may have neglected to do that 10 times. So it happens. We're only human, right? At least I think I am. Last I heard. Okay. Uh oh, I guess I don't need anything from there. Yeah, I do. I better pull this one down. Okay. All right. Um Lex says, have you thought about buy me a coffee? Yes, I do have a buy me a coffee. I don't do the memberships on buy me a coffee, but I do have buy me a coffee. It's confusing for well, I talked about that yesterday, I think. But yeah, if you do the buy me a coffee membership, um then you don't get the little symbol on the screen here, and you don't get the stickers and so yeah. But yeah, I do have a buy me a coffee account. I most days I don't usually even mention any of those things. To be honest, I just don't be thinking about it. I forget sometimes. Um, but Lydia Washington and Church Nelly, they usually put the information on the screen. But I usually forget. Anyway, you guys, more importantly, when World War III has been delayed for a while. Oh, by the way, thank you so much for the super chat. Yeah. Guys, I don't know how much any of you all have been paying attention to it, but the Orange Menace has been particularly irritating the past, the past few hours, few days. Even worse than his normal self, saying that he's going to end society for um, Iran and all that kind of stuff. I mean, just some really dark, apocalyptic kind of nonsense. Um, and okay, so one of the right wing people that I listen to from time to time, um, he had a big meltdown about how by 2024 he was just completely over the toxic language, the foul mouth, the bullying, um, the dishonesty, the lies on top of lies on top of lies, all of the grifting and money making schemes that take place, and people have even accused the White House of manipulating the markets with a lot of the rhetoric that they have used, only to say, well, it's going to be a ceasefire, and the market goes up and down. And when it goes up and down, people are making huge fortunes, especially on this one particular website where you can, um, wage a bet as to what do you think the outcome is going to be. And this is a website where you can make you can wage money or bet money on global events, which I think should be outlawed. And then I'm even told that the Orange Menace's son is on the board of directors. I mean, this is just outrageous stuff, even for him. And I don't talk about it a lot. Excuse me, because I don't want you guys to walk away from Royal Sussex feeling helpless and worse off than when you uh, logged on or whatever, because that doesn't do anybody any good. I don't want to feel that way myself. So, for the most part, I don't talk about it. But the thing is, I'm just so disappointed with Congress, with both sides, both parties, that they are so flippant and so casual about a genocide, apartheid, um, and just random bombing of neighborhoods and such. They don't seem to care, and you'll hear some of them on occasions say something about it or address it. I need you to try to blanket the airways. I need you to go on a campaign. I'll just say one person, Bernie Sanders. I need you to get on a campaign and go across the country and hold rallies and explain what you know to people. Don't just make a speech in the on the floor of the Senate. We need some of these people to go out and go to these universities, go to these community groups, and wherever you can be heard. Um, they need to get out there. And I'm just not picking on him, but I'm just using him as an example. But all of them, anyone who cares, they need to do something like a whistle stop tour and get out there and talk to people, because you got to do something, because the mainstream media is not going to allow your voices to be heard. There is so much about what is happening um, in the Middle East right now that goes unreported. Like, for example, the whole idea that there was a missing um, person from that plane that got taken out. Was there a missing person, or was that a cover for something else? There's a media blackout. You don't know how many people have died, how many soldiers that is. You don't know. You know, there was a time when you could still just go and look at the satellite images and get an idea of what's going on. Well, that's been blocked. And I understand it. I mean, it makes sense. You don't want your enemies to know what's happening. But the thing is, the people that are actually waging these conflicts, they get all the information they want. The US, Iran, Israel. Um, I didn't know that Iran had a space program, but they launched their own satellites. So it doesn't matter. They getting the information, but they don't want us to know what the truth is. See what I'm saying? So there's been a complete blackout, which means that there's a lot of stuff that we don't know, and then there's a lot of stuff that you really have to do some deep diving to find out. But either way, they have a ceasefire between the U.S. and Iran for now. Um, but let me say in my very left leaning liberal voice, and you can do your own research. I am here to tell you that sanctions from our government, the sanctions that we have put on other countries like Cuba, um, all over Africa, of course, all over the Middle East, even Russia and China, and you name it, any place where we've ever put a sanction, there are people that have needed medications, they have needed products, they have, as in Cuba's case, what is it? There was a naval blockade. Russia decided to just snub their nose at the U.S. naval blockade, and they delivered some much needed oil to Cuba because otherwise, most of the island was in the dark. They didn't have electricity. At the hospital, they had to use they had to manually, what is it, intubate or whatever, squeeze that air into an infant, oxygen. They had to do that manually. So it's been really, really crazy lately. So, but just remember, you as the individual cannot solve these problems yourself. So it just doesn't make sense that you lose sleep and make yourself depressed about these things because as long as there's been humanity, there's been war. There's very few times in the history of the world that there has not been some conflict somewhere. I repeat, there has always been some kind of conflict somewhere, which is unfortunate, but it's true. I don't know that things are necessarily worse. I just know that everything is in HD video now. You know what I'm saying? All these things are in HD video. Now you can have someone on the street of any city in the world with a smartphone and they can send you images that may be true or they may have been images from 3 years ago. There's a lot of misinformation, is what I'm saying. So um, don't get yourself worked up. Do your research. Don't just look at something and believe that that is exactly what's happening right now. There's a lot of misinformation on social media right now. And some of the things is because of strategic purposes. And then some of them people just are evil and they want to mislead the public. And it doesn't help that the person in the White House just makes up things on the fly. You can't trust him. So there you go. Anyway, that's a little update about where we are in the world right now is that for 14 days, there is supposed to be a ceasefire between the U.S. and Iran. And as for Israel, well, Iran and Israel, I think they have not reached an agreement just yet. But tentatively speaking, um, Iran won. They are supposed to get everything that they wanted. They are going to maintain a toll for the ships going through the Straits of Hormuz. They are going to get reparations from us to pay for the damage that we've done. And they're supposed to remove the sanctions that has probably, for the past, 57 years, those sanctions have probably killed who knows how many people um, because of things that they need that people couldn't sell them for fear that our government was going to, take action against them. So it's just so silly. But that's where we are. Is that They're supposed to get just about everything that they wanted. But truly, they had the world over a barrel. They literally had it. Iran had the ability to cast this world into an economic nightmare. This one country. And if you've been paying attention to it, you'll know why it's like that. I won't go into all of the who, what, when, where, and how, and all the who shot John, but just one country has had the whole world over a barrel, and there was nothing that we could do about it. Literally nothing. As a matter of fact, I think they tried to do something a couple of days ago, and it was a complete disaster. And so now they're just like, well, you know what? We'll just give you what you want. How about that? And try not to create another Great Depression. So there you have it. Lex says Iran has been showing him up. Let's see, they called him out for his market manipulation, and they have stated their terms and haven't backed down. They have not backed down at all either. And the notorious DJT, Donald John Trump, can't win, so he has been lying and spreading his propaganda. Thank you, Lex. That is so true. That is so true. Um, for all of his bluster and for all of his overbearing rhetoric and flat out lies and schemes and such, Iran has been preparing for this moment for 20 years, maybe even 30 years. And at least as far back as the Iran Iraq War. And they have some technology that we just did not know they had. They have things that that the United States doesn't have. It's not that they, and the thing is, asymmetric warfare, you don't target your enemy's strength, you go after their weaknesses. And that's exactly what they did. If you would have told me that Iran would have totally blinded the United States, I wouldn't have believed it. But there's like, what, 19 military bases? They say 13 of them are out of commission. 13. And even though they do not have nukes, they don't have that. They say we don't need it. They said that our ballistic missiles, our missile program is all we need to win the day. And if you guys have not been like paying attention to any of this stuff, I'm going to just tell you, um, they thought that taking out the Ayatollah was going to win the day. You know, the good old fashioned decapitate method to take off the, what is it, cut off the head of the serpent, right? You want to take the head off the snake, and that's supposed to do it. The thing is, after so many of their people in leadership has been assassinated one after the other by that country the size of New Jersey that we dare not speak of. Um, I guess we can because they're very proud of the fact that they've done it. Um, they have, oh gosh, I forgot how they have like 31 different states or provinces within Iran, right? And they have at least 9 levels of leadership deep. Are you following me? 9 levels of leadership. So, starting with the spiritual leader and work your way down to the president, the head of the armed forces, and so on and so forth. And so, for each and every individual, except for the supreme leader, there are 9 people under them. And they divided their um, their capabilities, or if you will, their weapons program, their defense. They divided it into several groups. I believe there's 31 of them or something like that. I forget the exact number. But if you were to take out one, then there's still 30. If you were to take out 15, then you still have another 15. And the thing is, they don't need orders. They don't need orders from the top, which is why it did not work what they were trying to do by taking out the Ayatollah. The Ayatollah had given them permission to do what needed to be done. And as individual groups, they all had their marching orders. And the thing is, it's not that anybody needs to tell them what to do, it's that someone needs to tell them to stop. Do you understand what I'm saying? Someone needs to tell them to stop doing what they're doing. And that is the only way to stop it. Otherwise, there is no way, there's really no way, if they never hear from anyone in government again, they have their orders. And which is fascinating when you think about it, because I've never heard of such a thing. I don't think most people have. But it's like a doomsday scenario. They won't stop until they get a certain, signal. And I'll just say this, even if something happens to the new supreme leader, it does not stop them from doing what needs to be done, which is one of the most fascinating things I've ever heard of. But the way they tell it, it is foolproof. And the way that they have things set up, even if they tried to do a Hiroshima or Nagasaki, it won't stop. It will not stop. Um, you cannot get to everything that they have. They can manufacture. They have cities. You when you hear underground cities, you kind of think, oh well, they're exaggerating. No, they're not. They're not exaggerating. And those granite mountains, um, you know, you'd probably end all of civilization trying to get through that. And you think, well, okay, maybe they just smashed the entrance. You can do that. But I hear that they have boulders that move. They have things that open up that you wouldn't expect to open up. It's fascinating. It really is. Um, but they learned their lesson in the past, and they have come up with what they believe to be a foolproof proof method to deal with their enemies. And so far, they have not been able to penetrate that. And that is probably why the Orange Menace says, you know what? Maybe you should have the things that you want. Maybe we will pay you reparations. Now, none of this is final, but the offer has been put out there because, as powerful as the United States is, there's nothing that they can do to stop them. Nothing. The country the size of the state of New Jersey, there's nothing that they can do. If there's nobody else on the surface, they still have their orders, which, like I said, is fascinating. I'm not cheering the loss of life for anyone, but you have to admit it is fascinating. We've never seen anything like that. So, um, yeah, that's what's been going on. So I hope that's been helpful. If you've not really understood what was happening, I explained it to the best of my ability, and maybe we'll have a members only over the weekend so we can get into it a lot deeper. And you can share whatever ideas that you have, but it is definitely, um, it definitely caught a lot of people off guard, even the country the size of New Jersey, also known as the agitators. It even caught them off guard. Lex says the Orange Menace has been like a broken record every Sunday. He says there is negotiation and the talks, and Iran said they aren't any, and the Orange Menace threatens them to look big, but then a ceasefire. There is no ceasefire. Yeah, they are not negotiating. They until what we heard today, they literally said what they wanted, and they were not willing to budge. And they really have the world over a barrel. And there is nothing that can be done about it. And even some of the, you guys, I don't know if you know this, but DJT fired a bunch of military people over the weekend because he couldn't, they were not telling him what he wanted to hear. They told him the truth. You cannot do this. It is not going to work. You're going to hurt yourself more than you could ever hurt them. They took out $1 billion radar system. They had a radar system. A lot of the, like the Iron Dome and the Patriot missiles and all that kind of stuff, all of those interceptors, they work with the radar system that they had all over the region. Iran took them out one after the other, one after the other. And they used a mix of ancient drone technology, something with like a lawnmower engine that you could almost ride your bike faster than it flies. And yet they couldn't stop them because it was just too many. And then they have hypersonic ballistic missiles that can fly up to 15 times the speed of sound. Those things are moving so fast that they have plasma that surrounds them, an energy field from the friction of how fast they're going. And essentially, nothing can touch it. Once it does what it's going to do, once it gets into the, what is it, fatal velocity, done. We don't have anything to stop it. Make that make sense. There is nothing to stop it. And even though they're saying that the Gerald R. Ford aircraft carrier had some kind of fire in the laundry chute, did they? Um, they actually may have been. Well, they were targeted. They said, and so they moved, but apparently they didn't move far enough. And this is why they cannot. This is why the generals were saying, you cannot do this. You're not going to get close enough with your aircraft carriers because they can take out a $13 billion aircraft carrier. They say that the Gerald R. Ford is the biggest, most awesome fighting machine in the history of the world. Makes no difference. Makes no difference. The only other countries that have that kind of technology, well, actually, several of them do, but what they have pales in comparison to what Iran has. And this has caught most people off guard. They just did not know, and they got so much of it. They have so much of it. I mean, I think they said they've already launched about 20,000 various types of missiles that they have launched. And they said we can keep doing this for months. That's what they said. They said you'll get tired before we do. I've never seen anything like it. Really, I've never seen anything like this. Um, Unbelievable. Thank you, Lex. How is this deal better than the one Obama did? Well, um, because this one is supposed to be permanent, right? This one is supposed to be permanent. Of course, the one Obama had was going to be permanent, but the thing is, um, actually, it's not as good as Obama's because Obama's they were going to allow inspectors and everything for their nuclear stuff, and now they don't have to. Now they refuse to do it, and that's the thing is before Donald Trump tore up that agreement that Obama had created, um, before he tore it up, Iran gave the West everything that they wanted, everything, everything that they wanted. And just to spite Barack Obama, just to satisfy his handlers or whoever, paid for his campaign, he decided to rip it up. That was a huge mistake. Huge mistake. It was everything that we could have ever wanted as a country. Everything. And once they tore that up, and the supreme leader even passed the law that said that they could not, that it would be a sin for anyone in that country to make a weapon of mass destruction like that. It was considered a sin. By his decree, it's unlawful. And it just doesn't get any better than that. But Mr. Know It All tore up the agreement. And now it's no longer binding because they tore it up. They're not going to live by something that has been rejected. So this is not better than what they had before. This is much worse because this time there must be, um, you know, more pork, more meat, more, more power for them. They have to concede so much more than what they had the first time around. That is, the U.S. has to concede. Um, but they are getting everything that they want. Reparations? You're going to rebuild my bridge you knocked down? And removing the sanctions? You're going to let us buy and trade like everybody else in the world? And listen. And you guys, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to go so deep into this, but the petrodollar, if you want to look that up, the petrodollar is what we have been using as leverage since the early 1970s, since the OPEC oil crisis. And most countries trade for fuel with the US dollar. Iran was provoked. And so they told people if you want fuel, you must use the Chinese currency, the yuan. What is it, the yuan? And so Japan paid with that. Um, France paid with euros. I mean, this was to let you know how serious this was. Is that most European countries in NATO that have the ability aircraft carriers and such, they refused to participate. They refused because it was a no-win situation. Even if they all would have um, conspired to do it with the U.S., they still were not going to win. A couple of those hypersonic missiles, and their navy is gone. Their navy is gone. And Iran said, if you knock out our power, if you knock out our water, our desalinization plants, they said, we are going to cast all of the region into darkness. You won't have any drinkable water and you won't have any electricity. And they meant it. They even threatened to take out um, the AI, artificial intelligence. They even threatened to take out something that nobody even knows where it is except for the intelligence community. They know where it is, and they threatened to take that out too. Let me put it to you like this: it's a big communication thing that isn't just for the region; it's for the world, and they threatened to take it out. By the time, by this time in 2 months, um, our economy, well, the world economy would have been in the toilet. And there, I repeat again, and there was nothing that the U.S. could do to stop them. Not a thing. So, um, thank you for the question, Legs. But Legs, I got a feeling that you probably know most of this already because it seems like you've been keeping track of it too. Most of Iran's weapons were given to them from the U.S., Iran, Contra, and Russia. Yet the idiots removed sanctions for Iran and Russia. What an idiot. Yes, thank you. Um, their Navy, their Navy, old Russian, old American equipment. Their Air Force, old Russian, old American equipment. Um, and the whole idea of, well, we took out their Navy, we took out their Air Force, whatever that thing was that they were trying to do a couple of days ago that failed, it's because of whatever they have, whatever kind of thing they have over there. As a matter of fact, I believe they still have aircraft and nobody knows where it came from. They still have helicopters and nobody knows where it came from. And a lot of the stuff that we were bombing, the stuff that the US and that other country was bombing, were inflatable tanks. They even painted planes on the asphalt, on the tarmac. They painted things to look like aircraft, and they bombed that. So by the time this is over with, the US is going to be in so much financial trouble. Even if it ends today and nothing ever happens again, um, the whole point was to wear down our supplies, to throw a $20,000 drone in the air and let the U.S. shoot it down with a $2 million Inceptor. No, I'm sorry, $20 million Inceptor missile or whatever. How long can you afford to do something like that? How long can you afford to throw $2 million, $20 million in the air, whatever it is? How long can you afford to do that when somebody is throwing something at you that costs $20,000? Not long. Not to mention that from the time that they get the order for certain weapons, it could take up to 2 years before that weapon is actually delivered. 2 years. Another reason why they were like, don't do this. We don't have enough stuff. We just don't. And so they had a meeting at the White House to try to encourage the manufacturers. The manufacturers are not going to build it until they get the money. They don't want to be sitting around holding on to something that may become obsolete. So if you want it, pay up, and then we'll get it to you as soon as we can, like in a year or two. And by the way, some of the rare earth, as they call it, that's needed for the weapons, China owns about 93% of it. They own about 93%. I don't mean to laugh. Some of the stuff, we can't even get to the materials to build it. Anyway, thank you. We should probably move on. But this has been a lesson. This has been one for the record books. And mm, say it again. Say it again. The BRIC countries are developing their own currency. Yes, Brazil, Russia, India, China. What's the S for? Anyway, it's more than just those five countries. But the S is for, oh, I forget. But yeah, that's the BRICS. There's going to be the euro. There's going to be the BRICS, and of course, the Chinese have that yuan, and of course, an ever weaker U.S. dollar. These are going to be the big international currencies: the euro, the dollar, the yuan, and whatever they come up with in the BRICS. Those are going to be the big four, maybe possibly five, but I doubt it because I'm thinking Japan may. I think Japan is going to probably continue to use the U.S. dollar, or they actually may start using, for international trade, they may start using the Chinese currency. But the yen is very powerful, but it's been weaker by the days for the past, God, I think 20 years. But don't get it wrong, Japan is still one of the wealthiest countries in the world. And between Japan and China, they own so much debt of the United States. I repeat, they are some of the biggest lenders to the U.S. government. So um, let that sink in. Oh, poor Dubai. Poor Dubai. Dubai is bye bye. Dubai is bye bye. And it did not help when did you see when the president of the United States said that what is that guy's name? He didn't know that he was going to have to kiss my ass. He better kiss my ass. I'm like, "Oh my god. Oh my god. Did he just say that?" And so the loyalty that that person had for the country the size of New Jersey and for the United States, he has decided for his own survival that he's going to have to go someplace else because how is he going to look in front of his people knowing that the person that he's laughing with and all that kind of stuff just publicly said that you have to kiss their behind. He lives in a country where if you touch his robe, you could end up, on the chopping block. It was just so silly. It was not the thing that one world leader should say about another. But they have been letting him get away with this stuff for so long that he felt that it was okay. And I don't understand why people weren't tired of this nonsense, you know, 7 years ago. Why weren't they tired enough then? But yet they voted for another round of it. And look at where we are. The United States is losing so much prestige from this event. We are the British Empire now. We are the post war British Empire. You know how after World War II, everything just kind of went on a slow decline for, well, actually, it wasn't as slow, was it? We're not quite there yet, but we are hurtling in that direction so fast that we're not going to be able to make the adjustment fast enough. But this is this is a definitive moment in the history of this country, and maybe it's the last gasp before everything just goes south. It was inevitable. It was going to happen eventually. Every great empire eventually goes into a state of decline. It happened to the Romans. It happened to the Greeks. It happened to the Persians, to the Ottomans, um, the um, the Austrian Hungarian Empire, all of them. You name it, Russia. It happens, and empires that we don't even know the names of have come and gone. Nobody stays on top forever. But it's not the end of the world. It's just going to be a new normal. It's going to be a new normal. It doesn't mean that we're going to get turned out into the streets. It's just going to be a new normal. That's all. Let's see. Poliva Girl says, I am an optimist. This is the age of Aquarius. Balance will be restored through chaos. I like that. Thank you so much for sharing that. But yeah, I that's, you know what? I didn't even read that, and I think I kind of just said that, is that it's just going to be a new normal. It's not going to be the end all be all. It's just going to be a new normal. And as it is, and you guys, if you are from the United States, please don't cuss me out. But you need to know this. We have been artificially paying less for gasoline, for petrol, than most countries in the world, especially a large country. We have been paying an artificially low price for it. I know it's more than most people can tolerate now, but I'm serious. We have been paying way less than most people. Even if you were paying by, what do you call it? By the, let's see, what is that measurement? The, let me see. Well, not the quart, the liter. Even if you were paying by liter, we still pay less. And that's just probably not going to be the case anymore. That's probably won't be the case. Um, there's a lot of stuff that we pay a lot less for. And I know we're already kind of at the brink now, but trust me when I say this, it has been a bargain being a U.S. citizen for certain things. Certain things we pay too much for, other things, we are paying far less than most people in the Western industrialized world, like electricity. Um, my electric bill has not kept up with inflation. I would say that it's been much lower. The pace of increase has been slower, should I say, than probably most places in the world. So um, that's going to be one of the changes. Is that um, buying a pair of denim jeans or whatever? We can go to Walmart and get them for next to nothing. Well, that's not going to be the case anymore. It's going to cost a little bit more. It's still going to be less than what most people, but yeah, certain things we're just going to have to pay more for it. But now is the time to make things last. Now is the time to buy quality that will still be functional down the line. So anyway, thank you so much for your comment. Oh, thank you so much. That's what I was trying to say. The leader. Oh, you too. Thank you. Hmm. Well, you guys, anyway, I hope this conversation has been helpful. Um, but do not despair. Paula Girl said that from all of that chaos will come balance, and that is true. I do not want to see a bunch of bloodshed and loss of life. I really would hate that. But let's hope that chaos is more confusion than mortality. Um, but yeah, hopefully we're like I said, 14-day ceasefire. Hopefully this is the end of it, and then the world can move on. Hopefully, let's all pray that that's the case. All right. So the media and the Sussexes. One of the squatties made this using AI. You can see the little symbol in the bottom right corner. That's the AI symbol. But it's just like an illustration to describe exactly what's been going on. Shocking truth about Meghan and Harry and exclusive insider details, all of those catchphrases. And then, of course, you funnel that clickbait money through the funnel. Also, feed it with sensationalism. And I mean, it's not a direct representation of the flow of things, but it makes the point. It definitely makes the point. It lets you know that from a lot of negativity comes a lot of profit, right? That's the whole overall message, is that all of that negativity. Hey, Heather Stroud, I didn't know you were here. And you get profit out of that. And that is that is one of the motivations. Let me just say that. I think that the other motivation is that there are some people within the tabloid media that are sycophants, and there are some people on the social media, same thing. But there are some people that are racist. There are racists in the social media and the so-called mainstream media. And that is one of their greatest motivations, is that woman of African descent, the Nigerian princess, has no place in the British royal family. And there are people within the family that feel that way. There are courtiers and other people within the institution that feel that way. And of course, there's even people within the British government that feel that way. So that is a very big part of it. As Harry said, that almost from the beginning, he noticed that people's tone would shift at the mention of her name. that the coverage was decidedly racist. And by the way, um, a very dear friend of mine has finally stayed up and binge watched the Harry and Meghan docuseries, and they were just blown away by some of the things that they were seeing. They knew of it, but they didn't really have the direct explanation from the Sussexes. They didn't have the firsthand words describing everything that they have gone through. Well, not everything, of course. It was only so much time, right? And that includes the royal wedding and the baby shower, all kind of stuff that they didn't know about or that they didn't really hear as much about it. And now they know, and it's just like, you know, wow, what are they going to do about this? That kind of a thing. They didn't know. So that was kind of refreshing to hear because it's only so much that I can do on my end. Not everybody has had a chance to watch the docu series, but for those who have, you definitely come out of it um, feeling a stronger about certain things, better informed about certain things, and even a little bit angry about some things. There's Harry in the center there. Harry was at an event. Let's see here. Meeting Prince Harry for the second time. I had an opportunity to speak to an audience of emerging leaders in the AI governance and privacy organized by Archwell and the IAPP with the noble Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex, in attendance at the 2026 IAPP Global Summit in AI Governance and Privacy in Washington, D.C. So, um, oh, and they said the first time that they met Prince Harry was in November of 2017 as a guest of Barack Obama. Okay, this person is gosh, I wonder, did I ever see who that person was? I took this information, but I neglected to oh well. Anyway, that's what someone on the Twitter said. Huh. I'm sorry, I didn't let me see. Yeah. Also, the Obama Foundation will finally launch its Obama Presidential Library in June. Yes, the library opens in June. I repeat, the Obama Presidential Library will open this June. So if you are coming to Chicago, let me pardon me. Let me remind you now to get your tickets in advance because I'm pretty sure that the first year that that place is open, it's going to be very difficult to get in. Very much like the African American History Museum in Washington, D.C., part of the Smithsonian. I do believe that first year or two, it was very difficult to just walk up to the door and go inside. So it helps to get your tickets or reservations in advance. Don't say I didn't tell you so. Let me see here. What was that? Oh, Legs, Hazel Jones. Did you all see the way that they have been trolling the Orange Menace with those Lego with those Lego cartoons? Have you seen those? Oh my god. I have to say that I have thoroughly enjoyed those. Some of them were quite personal. Um Let's see. Thank you for the PayPal. Yes, thank you so much for the PayPal. Um anyway, you know who you are. Oh, I'm so sorry. I at least wanted to say the initials, not the name, of course, but I am having a lot of trouble opening up this app. Oh, I see here. Thank you very much. I see the name there. Thank you so much. Um, okay. I really, really do appreciate that. Leg saw the cartoon. Why did I know that you probably saw it? Let me see. Oh, yes, they are amazing. They are amazing. Trolling Lego vids are funny. Orange Fatso started the name calling. Yep. Oh, let me see. Had to switch to my phone because PC froze. I've seen them. Yes, they are quite good. They're quite good. I mean, they get a little personal, but I'm here for it. I mean, considering who they're directed toward. And they also they also expose a lot of information that or okay, I'm sorry. They expose lies. I'm just going to say it like it is. They have exposed quite a few lies. The information sometimes is like very obvious, and other things, if you don't really know the pop culture, you may not get it. But yeah, but if you can get at least 80% of what they're saying, then you're doing good. Wow, they are trolling the bully. There's a closer view of Harry there. All right. The finishing glow. You guys, I love the Duchess of Sussex. And so I feel obliged to remind you that those candles are expensive. They are $64. Not the most expensive candle I've ever ordered, but um, they're wonderful. And that beautiful vessel that you can use as a vase, a vase, a vase, a vase. You can use it as a pencil holder, or you can put other things in it. And oh, you know what? Let's see. Okay, that one. No. Remember, remember how I said that even after I washed the container, the vessel, and that I used baking soda to try to get as much of the soot because they're very porous. They have a chalky feel to them. They're not a smooth porcelain or anything like that. They're not glazed pottery. So, listen, you hear that? That's me running my finger across it. So, it's got kind of a chalky finish to it. I can still smell the candle after all this time, especially the what is it, 519? I can still smell it. I can still smell it. So, and it is completely washed. All of the, the little dark burns that was on the inside. Well, not burns, but you know how the soot kind of clings to it. I cleaned it thoroughly. I'm going to have to take a picture of it so you can see how, clean you can get it. But yes, if you don't trim your wick, you're going to get that darkness around the rim. And my way of cleaning it was just with baking soda and a damp sponge and going across it until it was as white as possible. But I can still smell the candle. If you hold it up to your nose, it's just like you can still smell it. And why am I saying this? Because without being overbearing, these candles are just absolutely quality. And I have a very sensitive nose, right? And I don't usually like perfume sprays and, you know, room fresheners and the oil uh, things or incense and such. Don't usually care for that. But a good quality candle, I'm here for it. And these burn very clean, very, very clean. So also, you get the full fragrance without it being overwhelming. Now, my favorite, because that's the what is it? The 084, I think it is. The 519, that is my favorite. There's the two. And the 519, that's the one that I'm telling you, I feel like it has healing powers. I feel like I can breathe clean. I can breathe like it freshens the air for me. That's what I feel. If you have the 519, throw a amen there if you feel the same way. I don't know what it is about it. I know it's got mint and cardamom and whatever other fragrance or herb or whatever. And I am just crazy about it. If I ever made a candle myself, though, I'm going to definitely try to source those ingredients so that I can get that same thing going. But yes, I thoroughly enjoyed it. But not all candles are created equal. And some, you pay more money for them, but they are definitely quality. And these are quality. And they're also $64. uh, I just throw that in there. They are $64. Oh, thank you, Ingrid Sowers. Really? I didn't know that. Well, good. It makes sense though, because if that thing showed up, I listen. Michelle Obama loves her husband, but if she found out that that person was showing up, she probably wouldn't go. Either that or she'll catch a case. She either wouldn't go or she would catch a case. So, um, you can get the whole pantry. Unfortunately, those images didn't come out clear, but you can get the whole pantry from As Ever for 15% off. Now, what's missing from this? The cookie mix. What else is missing from this? The apricot spread. Those are the only two things that I can think of. But otherwise, oh, and the crepes. Yeah, those are the three things that I can identify that is missing from this spread. But um, you can get the whole thing. I believe it's just under $300, and you can get 15% off from that. So I'm just sharing it with you because I love our Duchess, and I'm always going to promote her stuff. Oh, you know what, guys? Where are my manners? Where are my manners? Um, Brian, Brian, what is it? Sussex Family TV? Um, I don't think I'm allowed to share the video. I guess I should have asked permission if that was my intentions, but I did not, so I won't. Um, but I'm going to take a screenshot. And someone sent him uh, the the um, the as ever. They sent him as ever, and he was literally throwing himself across the bed with joy. He sat on his bed and he pulled stuff out. Oh God, that sounds strange, doesn't it? He pulled out. Oh gosh, he presented. He showed us. I just shouldn't have said bed. Never mind. But anyway, he shared with us what he received from whoever sent it to him. I forgot the name. But anyway, he has the mother load of things. So let me take a good screenshot. Oh, and they also sent him the Harper's Bazaar. Okay, this is perfect. I'm going to share this screenshot with you. I am so happy for him. He deserves it. He has been incredible um, for the Sussex Squad community, for the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. And he's also very, very bright and he works very hard. Um, so, sometimes you just, it's right. You know what I'm saying? You know it's right. And he deserves this more than anybody I can think of. Uh, okay, I'm gonna. Oh my goodness, what did I just do here? Okay, I'm gonna share that with you. Give me just a second. I'm taking a couple of screenshots here. All right, almost there. Almost there. Oh boy, what happened? Oh no. Okay, okay. I got to restart my computer. I got to make sure I do that because my computer is being very, very shady, very capricious right now. Oh wow! You know what? Those screenshots that I just took, I lost them. I lost the screenshot. My computer is acting up. Okay, let me do that one more time, and I just want to be able to share at least one picture with you. Then, okay. And listen, he just happens to be on his bed. Okay, I know it sounds strange, but I'm serious. That's where he is. So I'm not trying to be rude or weird, but he's laying on his bed and he's pulling stuff out. I mean, let's face it. Who? Let me stop because I'm about to get weird. Uh, okay. All right. Everything is coming together just as I need it to. And gosh, I am just full of the double entendres today, aren't I? Nothing like a good double entendre, which is my first big word of the day. Okay, there's one. Okay. Mm, let me grab another one. See the joy on his face? I love it. And like I said, if anybody deserves this, it's him. And I don't know his exact situation, but I'm going to say it probably was very expensive to send that. And um, yeah, I'll just leave it there. But everything got there, and he is happy, and that's all that matters. See there? You see that? This is so good. Oh my God. So anyway, whoever sent those goodies to Brian, he did mention it, but I forgot. But whoever sent that to him, that is definitely doing the Lord's work. Someone has done the Lord's work. And as someone who has been the recipient of some very, very nice gifts over the years, I cannot tell you how it warms your heart when you get something very thoughtful, and especially something that, in my case, is always useful. I'm not going to say I was brought to tears because I used the butter dish that someone sent me, but it is like getting a big hug every time I need some butter. Um, and it's great. It's a great butter dish. So thank you. Uh, but yeah, so those are the gifts that he received. Nice, right? Somebody's done a good job. So for the person who sent those, how about some flowers? Okay. I know. I know. I know. And you guys, I don't want to I don't want to embarrass anybody, but Connie Bomber is a great gift giver. Oh, Ingrid, are you going to bed? Oh, you haven't slept. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm going to try my best to come on earlier. I had errands the past couple of days, but I'm going to try my best. Oh, this is what you get with the pantry. What's inside? Flour sprinkles, raspberry spread, strawberry spread, orange marmalade, honey duo gift box, sage honey with honeycomb, herbal lemon ginger tea, herbal hibiscus tea, herbal peppermint tea, signature candle number 084, and signature candle, my favorite, 519, which of course is their anniversary. And of course, the hot toddy mulling spice kit and the spice cider mulling spice kit. So all you got to do is get some apple cider and you drop that little pouch in the water. I mean, the apple cider. Oh, is it so tasty? It is so tasty. And the smell of it. I mean, you could just listen, put a pot on the stove and let it simmer and then drop that pouch in there, just a little pot of water, and it will put a beautiful fragrance in your kitchen. I'm not saying that's how you're supposed to use it. I'm just saying that you can. Let's see. Ali, oh my God, thank you so much for that. Aleve has gifted 10 Royal Sussex memberships. Thank you very much for that. Okay. All right. So take that away. And congratulations in advance to whoever receives those. Catherine and Prince William take break from royal duties again. Oh, really? Oh, really? Catherine and Prince William take break from royal duties. That's like saying, I just took a deep breath, or I just drank a glass of water. I mean, isn't it just like oxygen? It is inevitable for them. It's inevitable that I am going to, you know, work so many hours, I'm going to relax for so many hours, and I'm going to sleep for so many hours. It's what I do. Well, if Will and Kate does 10 hours of work within 2 months, they're going on vacation and lickety split. The double standards are honestly sickening. The press spends all day sucking up to the perfect Windsor lot, then turns around and treat a video of two kids in California like a you know what national threat. Um, it is not reporting; it is a vendetta. You are obsessed with diminishing the Sussexes while playing the subservient lapdog to the palace. Don't the Sussex squad write beautifully? The public isn't stupid. We can see the strings that is, and we are bored of the same tired, biased crap. Bugger off with the fake outrage. Okay. Okay. Palace fear BBC cuts could harm coverage of royal deaths. Milestones in nation's history could suffer as broadcaster faces unprecedented funding crisis. Well, who is affected the most by this? Who will be the next big funeral? Which sounds so morbid to say that, but it's true. It is true. It is so true. So I am going to share a little soundbite with you. Okay.
But I find this
Oh, sorry, you guys.
this is morbid, but I find this very funny that King Charles is upset that the BBC will be cutting funding around royal funerals. And just because of age and because of health, I think we know which royal funeral will be next. He's the one who's mad about it because nobody's going to care that much, maybe, when it happens. However, the karma is that Princess Diana had wall to wall 24/7 coverage for days on end. Obviously, the two situations will be very different, most likely, because that was a tragic ending and she was so young. However, she had all of the attention and he will have none, which is what he was upset with her about in life and now after.
Well, suck it up, Buttercup. Them's the breaks. Which fate for Charles III? Will it be um, the loss of monarchy and his head? Let's see. Will he restore the monarchy? Or will he go down in history as the first English king, the first Scottish king, the first Welsh king, the first Northern Ireland king, and all the other realms? Will he be the first Muslim king of Great Britain? Or will he be the one who causes the loss of the monarchy? Will he be the one that forces that clan? I'm sorry, I mean that family. Will he be the one that gets them kicked out of the monarchy? You hear that? That's the heartbeat of Charles. Anyway, um, they're saying that Charles may actually have to abdicate because of that whole thing with not doing an Easter address. He neglected to do an Easter address, and people are furious about it. Now, I don't think um, the average subject of the king, I don't think the average person really cares that much. But for whatever reason, they have been going on and on and on and on about this. It is awkward. It is very strange that he would give an address for um, Muslims, but to publicly make a statement, I am not giving an Easter address. I think it may have gone unnoticed by most people had he just not said so. It's kind of like when you're the president and you go to war looking for weapons of mass destruction, and then you have the nerves to say, well, we didn't find them. That's because there were none. But I would have felt better if they would have just said, yeah, we found them and we got rid of them. I mean, I wouldn't want them to lie, but I think it would have helped people sleep at night thinking that they had, you know, that they had found something. Because some people, their kids did not come back from Iraq. Their kids are a honorable mention in the history of the military. Their kids are, you know, for lack of a better word, gone, deceased, or injured for life because of something that wasn't there in the first place. They found the oil. So I guess what I'm trying to say is why make a big public thing about not doing an address? And now you got everybody looking upside your head. I don't get that. I just don't get it. Why would you say anything? Just discreetly neglect to do it and leave it alone and just hope nobody noticed. But instead, they make a public declaration out of it. Who does that? That was a unnecessary um, injury to your reputation. I just don't get it. I don't get it.
I just don't get it. I don't get any of it.
What do you mean? You don't get what?
I don't get why we're so obsessed with these humans that are exactly the same. Like, it could be us four sitting there. I just don't get it.
But are you talking about
What, you mean as royals or
Yeah.
as, like, Kim Kardashian? Because for me, they're becoming celebrities.
Well, to me, that's all they are.
The Queen
is their
is-
celebrity.
I love the Queen.
Brilliant.
I
For
love the
what?
Queen.
No,
For duty, responsibility,
She's always
figurehead.
worked really hard,
But
hasn't
I would
she?
work hard if the whole country paid for me to have like 12 houses and work really hard.
But they don't pay for all of the houses. But
Just a few. But
I just don't get it. I don't get any of it. I just don't get it. Girl, I don't get it either. Why would you tell people what you ain't gonna do? Just don't do it and let them find out. It's kind of like, you know, if you put in an application for something and then you start saying, well, you know, I'm not really qualified. Well, you know, I'd be surprised if you call me. Let them tell you that you're not eligible. You don't tell them, let them tell you. Crazy. Oh, well, I don't know. I doubt if he'll lose his head, but from the doing something as stupid as that, I'm wondering if he got a brain. Dumb. That was dumb. Kim Coates says the head of the Church of England not giving an Easter address is like the Pope not holding Easter Mass. Charles is responsible for representing the church at holy appointed times. Yes, he is the supreme governor of the Church of England, and people look to him not only as their sovereign, but as someone that is a spiritual leader. Now, we don't expect him to give mass or anything like that, but he should be a constant inspiration to the masses of people that he is reigning over. But instead, he just makes this big declaration, I'm not doing it. And then, as one of the people said, if you're not going to do it, then have one of those counselors of state. You know, have Godzilla do it. Have William do it. Oh no, I guess you can't rely on William because, yeah, I guess that's a bad idea. I think William is even less spiritual than his father. Well, the thing is, his father is, his father does have religion in his heart. I mean, he has made no bones about it that he is very much dedicated to religion, to practicing religion, to being the head of the church. However, he tried to change things. Instead of being the keeper of the faith, now he wants to be keeper of faith. You know, all of the faiths, all of the religion. He wants to be the spiritual head of, or leader of, or governor of. In other words, he wants to protect everybody's right to observe and practice whatever religion, which is an admirable quality. But officially, you are the head of the Church of England. So I'm afraid you can't have it both ways. But of course, we don't have to limit ourselves to Godzilla. We don't have to limit ourselves to William. They could have had Kate do the Easter address.
You'll face the daily challenge of finding the balance between profitability and having a positive impact. Leaders, you'll face the daily challenge of finding the balance between profitability and having a positive impact.
Or not. Or not. Yeah. Or not. Okay, maybe that was a bad choice. Who else could have done that? Now, you see, one of the problems is they don't really have other members of the family address the nation. The leave that only to the sovereign, which I understand. But I think that it probably would be very wise that if they can't get William to do it, that they should have an alternative. In all potability, if you wanted to show a great deal of potability and other made up words. Speaking of which, ruthless. But what does ruthless mean? What is the origin of the word Ruth? Well, the name Ruth originates from Hebrew, meaning companion, friend, or fellow woman. It is famously associated, fellow woman, ruthless, William. Oh, okay. They said it, not me. It is famously associated with biblical figure in the book of Ruth, known for her loyalty. Separately, the English noun meaning pity or compassion comes from Germanic roots related to ru. Okay? So it means compassion, pity. The word Ruth exists as a noun meaning pity, sorrow, compassion, derived from the Old Norse, what is that, hygo, or Middle English ru. So there you go. And so if Ruth means that you have compassion and pity, then obviously ruthless means that you lack compassion. You are lacking pity. You are lacking any type of ability to feel a certain amount of compassion toward your fellow human being. Hence the word ruthless. He is ruthless. He is without grace and consideration. That suits him perfectly. Ruthless. Now, according to Feminagra, Ruthless Willie, Prince William, or just a petty prince with a grudge problem, which is what I've been speaking about. I think that his people are doing him a disservice. He is doing himself a disservice. All of this cruelty and hostility, it has set such a bad example. We were just talking about the President of the United States. Unfortunately, he's the President of the United States, who conducts himself with such rage and hostility. It is a terrible lesson to teach our children. Our children should not see the world through the eyes of someone who is so angry and so bitter all the time, someone who is holding grudges against people. And especially as a public figure, William has no place near that throne. No place at all. So the Daily Mail would like you to believe that Prince William's habit of cutting people off without warning, freezing out former friends, and apparently conducting a years-long silent war against the Archbishop of Canterbury is actually good. Yeah, they want you to believe that that is good news, a sign of strength and brilliant leadership material. They want you to believe that that is a good thing, that he can hold a grudge and has so much hostility for years at a time. Royal expert Richard Fitzwilliam obliged the framing, telling people William is our future king. Thank goodness he has a ruthless streak, as this is needed in today's world. Really? Because I would say that the president of the United States is ruthless. And because of his ruthless nature, he tried to bully another country into submitting because of fear of reprisal. And what happened? They told him to go to hell. That's what happened. So you can be ruthless all you want, but it doesn't mean everybody is going to flinch because you look at them. It doesn't mean everybody is going to cower or avoid you because of your ruthlessness, because of your mood swings. Au contraire. He went on to describe William as an excellent judge of character with diplomatic skills. Oh, here we go with the global the global the global statesman stuff. Here we go with that again. As you marinate on those words, let's look at the full picture, shall we? Let's look at the full picture. The Archbishop who dared to counsel Harry. The latest installment of William Holds a Grudge comes courtesy of the Archbishop of Canterbury's situation, or rather the former Archbishop Justin Welby, who had the audacity to provide guidance to Prince Harry and Meghan Sussex. Royal correspondent Roy Anika dropped this information on Times Radio, explaining that Welby and his team didn't try hard to get meetings with William, and there was just a wall of silence. Did try hard. They did try hard to get a meeting with him, and there was just a wall of silence. That's all that came down, was a wall of silence. The future head of the Church of England couldn't be bothered to meet with the most senior bishop in the Church of England because Welby had the temerity to be kind to Harry and Meghan. William is someone who does hold a grudge. He does choose sides. If someone picks the other side, he remembers that. This is being represented as a positive character trait by some. Royal expert Richard Fitzwilliams actually said, thank goodness he has a ruthless streak, as this is needed in today's world. If you say so, Richard. Since when did Ruthless become a glowing reference for a constitutional figurehead whose primary duty involves ribbon cutting, charity galas, and the occasional state dinner? In a world currently watching Donald Trump's brand of ruthlessness destabilize entire alliances, tank global markets, and unravel decades of international cooperation. It takes a particular kind of editorial blindness to look at these landscapes and decide that what the British monarchy needs is more of the same energy, more of the same. I'm going to share something with you that Henry VIII said a long time ago, and I'm talking about Henry VIII, the Sussex squad, Henry VIII. That's the name she uses. She said that quite often, very weak men use hostility and rage, that they actually rely upon the notion of hostility and anger to big themselves up, to make them seem more imposing, right? When the truth is, it's a big turnoff. And you isolate and alienate people who can really make a difference in your life and perhaps make a difference in whatever community. I don't usually match that energy. You know what I do? I man my business. I go on about my business and I leave it to others. Now, if I have a bad day, I'll probably call you out. I worked at a place where there was a bunch of young people and we had some overzealous members in management. Well, I sometimes in the morning meeting would try my best to embarrass those members of management. What I wanted the young people to know is that they bleed just like you do, that you do not have to be intimidated by these people. And then after I say something and kind of flex, I'll just say that I flex a little bit. And then I look at the young people and I say, you know what? This is why they don't hire old folks. Because I will give them the what for. It's just a job. It's not the rest of your life. And yes, sometimes you do have to take it. And then other times you just have to have the courage of conviction and walk. To leave that space and try to find some place where you can go to work and feel good about yourself, not get browbeaten. So I'll say that. But I'm not going to share the whole thing because I have gotten so far behind. But let's go and take a look at these. Oh, there's the article, Ruthless Streak. And here on the right, they're showing some of the people that he holds a grudge, like the York family, both the Duke and Duchess of York, and of course the York sisters, Anna, Harry and Meghan, and Justice Welby, and not Justice, Justin. He's not a Supreme Court judge. Justin Welby, and Tom Bradby. Who is Tom Bradby? You didn't ask, but I'm going to tell you. Well, he was the reporter that asked Meghan if she was okay. How is she doing? And that was enough to outrage and anger William to the point where he just, and you know, listen, you guys, it ain't none of my business. But if I ever had the opportunity and the proper motivation, I would say something. I don't want to be overly dramatic, but when someone like William punches down at a television journalist saying that you are no longer my friend, that's like a mafioso kiss of death. I really do believe William was trying to destroy this man's career, Tom Bradby. All the hard work that it took for Tom Bradby to get to the position that he's in, and William tried to sabotage that. And if he has enough gumption about himself, enough hostility and rage to try and destroy someone's career by making a public declaration that that person is no longer your friend. I mean, that was released by Kensington Palace. I still cannot believe it. But they did that. So when people say that Kensington Palace is responsible for trying to sabotage the Sussex's wedding, they seem to be instrumental in pulling his father into the world of the tabloid media. I mean, after all, his father said The only person he could reach at the palace was Jason. I'll let you guess which Jason. William was punching down. William is going to be the king. He's going to be the king one day. And how dare he speak about Tom Bradby like that, or anyone else for that matter? I think it's disgusting. And I promise you, if I had the means, I would put him in his place. I would say whatever I thought I needed to say to let him know that that was childish and petty and that he should be ashamed of himself. I would. I would. I'm old enough to be his daddy, and I would set him straight. God, I cannot stand a bully. Cannot stand it. Just like would prefer Andrew, they, along with Charles III, were trying to pull Andrew back into the fold. They were trying to help him build up a public role. They were trying to bring him in out of the cold. I promise you they were. But because of all of this, negative, bad information and such, then they had to pull back again. But I do believe that if they had the opportunity to do it again, they will. They will try to bring him back into the fold, and they will try to give him another public role in the royal family. This is just an interruption to their plans, but they will be back. They will be back, and they're going to push Andrew back into the public spaces again. I promise you they are. It's not over yet. They are going to try to reform him. They're going to try to rehabilitate his character and put him back out there again. He is still Prince Andrew. He is still the Duke of York. Not much has changed. Sever ties with $5 million a year boss of P&O Ferries. Oh yes, that's the guy standing next to William there. William hangs around with some pretty shady characters. I'm going to give you guys the link for this article. It's actually a really good article, and I don't want you all to miss it. So I'm going to give you the link. I'm going to pin it to the top of the chat, and then you can finish this article on your own time. Gosh, I got to reset my computer. It is responding so slowly. Just take those old records off the shelf. I couldn't listen to them by myself. Today's music ain't got that same soul. Not like that old time rock and roll. Don't try to take me to a disco. You'll never ever get me out on the floor. This kind of music ain't got the same soul. Not like that old time rock and roll. Okay, I'm stalling because I'm trying to pin this to the top of the chat, but it's just not acting right. Oh, sorry, there it is. I got it. Okay, time for the break beat. Just take that old time rock and roll. That kind of music just moves your soul. Okay, I'm done. That is a good song, though, isn't it? That old time rock and roll. Oh, you had that album? It's a good song. Good song. Well, the work, free money, such and such here. Billy Idol. Let me see. What are we saying here? 19 full days off, and Kate had 27 full days off. Really? And they only worked the equivalent of 8.5 days and 3 days. So up until March the 26th, William has done the equivalent of 8.5 hours. That's a day's work. And Kate has done 3 days' work. Oh, I'm sorry, 8.5 days. I'm sorry, that's not a day's work. That's a week and some change. Sorry about that. So he worked 8.5 days, right? Um, and that was 19 full days off. And she worked 3 days and had 27. These people got it made. So William pulls in 30 million pounds a year for working the equivalent of 8.5 days from January 1st until March 26th. I wonder how many hours his father, who is stricken with cancer, I wonder how many hours he works. I'd be embarrassed to compare the two. Oh, for 2025, Kate worked, are those days? No, she had 68 engagements. Some of those engagements are on the same day as other engagements, meaning, of course, she didn't work 68 days. Engagements can be a Zoom call, engagements could be sitting through a meeting followed by a lunch break or whatever. Those are separate engagements. Charles, who is in some people's measurement, who they are believe he is may even be terminally ill. 533 engagements and 478. Edward 313, Sophie 235, Godzilla 228. The Duke of Gloucester, who's pretty old, 212. William 202, embarrassing. The Duchess of Gloucester 113. Duke of Kent, the one that they call Shuffles because he can't lift his feet up no more. The Duke of Kent, 68 engagements. 68. I'm sorry, 77 compared to Kate's 68. So he's done more work than Kate, even though he's like, what, 90 years old? That is embarrassing. I wonder if that's why she wasn't, never mind. It's embarrassing. And then they'd be the first ones to take a vacation. That's an AI photo on the left side. Ain't that something? Lazy. Here's another AI photo. You can tell because they don't have any shoes on. They're not wearing any shoes. And I don't think anybody would walk around the airport with no shoes on. Now, you're going to love this. You are going to love this. And I am telling you, you're going to love this. Well, you're going to like it anyway. And you're going to love me.
Charles, when he was younger, talked about architecture, religion, literature, music. He loves Wagner. William, to me, just seems to be polo and the army.
Well, I think that's...
Is that the real issue?
To be fair, I agree with you that the king has always had... He's always worn his spirituality very proudly, hasn't he? And he's also a creative. So he is a deep thinker. There's obviously a generational difference between him and his son, William. I think William is more concerned about causes and themes of suffering.
What music does
I couldn't tell you.
You're a royal journalist and you can't tell me who the heir to the throne, who's his favourite composer.
No, but then he isn't. But then he isn't and has never been and never claimed to be an academic or an intellectual.
I don't think either of those things are academic or intellectual. I think they're just about having a cultural hinterland. And I think part of the issue here is not, everything we've discussed, cultural change, constitutional challenges, I think what this comes down to, William, is a bit boring.
You can say that again. Not only is he boring, but he's ignorant too. He's mean and vindictive and vicious and cruel. And he has, very little intellectual curiosity. Assigning himself to causes is really him taking an opportunity to be seen, to be the big man on campus. But he is not, I repeat, not interested in much of anything, just anger. As for his favorite composer, I'm going to go out on the limb and say Taylor Swift. Yeah, I'm going to say that her favorite composer is Taylor Swift. It's glaringly obvious. I mean, have you seen him at a Taylor Swift concert? It's not pretty to watch. Okay. He's a Swiftie. William is a bit boring. Catch up now on... Oh, that's that thing we just watched. Never mind. Okay, you guys, we are getting in the home stretch. I'm trying to decide whether or not we should do this tomorrow. Well, I'll just be very brief. This, of course, is Republic. I was wondering what they were gearing up for, right? Oh, Miss Z says, oh, come on. Wheels has interest like pool park. You're so right about that. Touche. You are so right. You cannot tear that man away from pulled pork. Doesn't even matter where the pulled pork comes from. Any back alley or whatever will do. Why you get me started? Let's see. Meghan and Harry, the most important reported on, and talked about couple in the world today, thanks to the media, YouTubers, and the people on here. Cheers to that. Cheers to that. Everything that they have tried to do to the Sussexes, they've only made them increasingly relevant. They have heightened their importance. They have established their hard work. That's all they as a result they have really elevated the Sussexes to heights that would not have happened without their input. Yeah, if you want to make Meghan responsible for everything that happens in the world, then you're making the world curious about everything that Meghan says and does. And the fact that she's absolutely brilliant on top of all of that, well, that's the extra added flavor. But yeah, so they are planning a big rally, a palace protest on the 9th of May, 2026. They do this every May, I believe. Every May, they have a big rally. They're going to meet at Trafalgar Square, and then I think they're going to march over to Buckingham Palace or something like that. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of people, loads of people. So these are, of course, some old images, but they're going to be out there. So if you're going to be anywhere near the British Museum, then you can go for the palace protest. Let me see. Citizen Smith is a grifter. Oh, you know what? I just realized that I think that someone was oh yeah, that's what this picture is. Someone was coming for Graham Smith. This is what it's supposed to say. What did you know and when did you know? I'm sorry, what did you know? Charles, what are you hiding? Abolish, whatever. But yeah, that's what happened here. They were trying to come after Graham Smith. See there? See how perfect the letters are? That's what that's about. $500 million for the royals, budget cuts for the rest of us. It kind of sounds like the United States. A tax increase, actually a tax decrease, tax decrease for the uber wealthy. They cut the taxes for the super wealthy and they raised the taxes for the rest of us. They have cut a lot of services and yeah, they have really screwed us over. And if you're lucky, maybe Yellow T-shirt guy will be there. Or maybe M, right? M has a great personality. It's something about M that just reaches out and greets you. Yeah, there's something about M that really appeals to your better nature. Or your anyway. Sometimes M is there before he even enters the room. You know what I'm saying? If you know, you know. But M is no pushover. He's no pushover for obvious reasons. Okay. Oh my goodness. Yeti alert. Yeti alert. There is a Yeti on the Sandringham estate. That mythical, hairy, beastly creature that is very elusive. You can hardly find it, but the Yetis do wander across the Windsor estates. And you see there, sometimes it seems like there's two of them, even if there's only one in place. It looks like there's two of them. They're Yetis. Okay, we're winding it down, you guys. What a lovely spread they had in Vogue. Seeing Double, when Miranda met Anna. Miranda Priestley, the character from The Devil Wears Prada, played by the very talented Meryl Streep, well, they have become very good friends. Now, I don't know how friendly they were to each other before The Devil Wears Prada, but I do enjoy the fact that Anna Wintour is leaning into this character. There have been several characters based on Anna Wintour. And anyway, she is a force to be reckoned with. And she's also very big on contributing to certain causes that are near and dear to my heart. So oh, and we're birthday twins. Don't forget. Anna Wintour was born on November the 3rd, and so was I. Look at there. Limousine, anyone? They are having a time of their life. And of course, the elevator with the big sunglasses. Now, Meryl Streep chose to have a very recognizable hairstyle, but she did not want that laser cut bob that Anna Wintour has been wearing for years. Anna Wintour has been wearing her hair like that for at least 50 years or more. So Meryl Streep wanted something that would definitely project from across the room, but she did not want to completely take over an appearance or create an appearance that would be associated with the actual devil that wears Prada. Okay. Do you guys recognize this character? Because it's been 50 years. Does anybody recognize this character? Again, it's been 50 years. Anybody? Do you recognize this character? This is one of the most famous characters on American television. Intercom? Yes, Bonnie Mighty. Alib. Okay, who else got it? Okay, there we go. Anyone else? Yes, you got it. I understand. So 1, 2, 3, 4 of you. I need coffee. Well, some of y'all might be too young to remember, and some of y'all might be pretending to be too young to remember. But 50 years ago, there was a television show that first appeared thanks to the famous producer, Aaron Spelling. Aaron Spelling. One of my favorite characters, I could assure you of that. That is, of course, Charlie, as in Charlie's Angels. Charlie's Angels, 50 years later, the actresses Kate Jackson, Jacqueline Smith, and Cheryl Ladd have reunited to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the series. Yes, those ladies were on Charlie's Angels 50 years ago. Now there is one lost angel, which I cannot believe that that happened, but we did lose one of our angels. But yeah, these ladies, they were very independent women. There you go. So that's Cheryl Ladd on the right, Kate Jackson in the middle, and what did I say her name was? Um, oh yeah, Kate Jackson, Jacqueline Smith. Oh my goodness, which one is Smith and which is Jackson? Jackson's in the middle. Smith is on the left. Okay, yeah. I forgot they had both have the same first names. But yeah, they look good. Oh yeah, Lee Majors. You know, back in the day, remember we used to call her Farrah Fawcett Majors? Farrah Fawcett Majors. And then eventually, after they divorced, it was just Farrah Fawcett. Anyway, Charlie's Angels, they used to call it Jiggle TV because of the, you know, all of the the flesh that was shown. They had nicknamed it Jiggle TV. But Aaron Spellings was on to something. And Bosley, I did see you mention Bosley. Bosley was like the office manager. He was the one who gave them their assignments, but they were private detectives. They were private detectives. They were crime solvers. And they were hired by people who just could not solve crimes any other way. So they were heroes. They were the inspiration to a lot of young ladies back in the 70s and the object of affection to a lot of young men back in the 70s. And Farrah Fawcett with her famous big gold hair. And of course, the voice. You know, during the show, we never saw what Charlie looked like, but people who knew of John Forsythe knew that he was the voice of Charlie. That was a very clever thing because every week the girls would try to figure out who Charlie was or what Charlie looks like. And so they would always imply that Charlie was just in the next room or Charlie was, you know, in a distance. He didn't want to disturb the cast and all that kind of stuff. Not the cast, but the crime solving and everything. But yeah, there was lots of implied interactions or appearances with Charlie. But the truth is, Charlie's face was never seen on Charlie's Angels. I remember when they said Charlie was kidnapped, right? But somehow they managed to get through the whole thing without showing um, John Forsythe's face. And that is the actor John Forsythe, who I just absolutely adore. One of my favorite actors. He played Blake Carrington on Dynasty, or as they say in the UK, Dynasty. So yeah, it's been 50 years since the premiere of Dynasty. I'm sorry, not Dynasty, but Charlie's Angels. So that was a little trip down memory lane. Yes, there was a dispute. Farrah Fawcett wanted to go on and do other stuff. So she left Charlie's Angels. It's almost hard to believe that Farrah Fawcett was only on for one season, but it's true. She was only on the cast for one season. I did not remember it that way for some reason. So anyway, you guys, thank you so much. I did not think I was going to stay on so late, but we had such an interesting conversation. And hopefully one day soon, Legs and Hazel and myself, we can talk about this whole thing with Iran in further detail, or sharper detail, if you will. But for now, I'm going to say good night, good luck, goodbye, so long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, au revoir, bon voyage, ciao. Yep, that's what I'm going to say. Okay, see you guys next time. Oh, good. I'm going to look forward to it. I know that both of you all got a lot to share about that, so I am going to look forward to it. Legs, are you free on Saturday or Sunday night? Because I don't want to interfere with your leisure time if you're free on one of those nights. But I will ask before I do that. So if I do my regular slides, we can go away and then come back like we did last time or the other time. So, all right. Okay. Love you guys. Good night.